As the rise of malicious attacks increase with more and more sophistication and the problem of reliable personal identification becoming even more challenging, there's a demand for greater authentication services. Biometrics has become an established discipline supporting several practical applications. Government, financial, logistics, and consumer electronic industries have all increased their use of biometric technology over the past few years. However, the use of biometrics for the identification and verification of patients in a healthcare setting will be discussed in this presentation. As you can see, there are many reasons as to why there's a need for stronger identification methods, such as patients have common names, patients arrive to the emergency room with no ID, staff enters the wrong information, patients share or steal identities, or hospital mixes up the medical records. The previous authentication methods such as passwords, ID cards, and keys can be possessed by other people and easily make these traditional methods vulnerable to malicious attacks. Biometric technology can provide something that attackers do not possess: your unique physical, chemical, and behavioral attributes. These unique characteristics have the potential to combat fraud and identity theft. Biometrics technology can also potentially prevent medical errors, improve patient matching abilities, and improve the capability to react to medical emergencies. Essentially, this is what makes biometrics the ideal authentication for the healthcare industry because, as written by Mordini and Ottolini, two of the major causes of medical errors are patient misidentification and administering the wrong medication. What is biometrics technology? It is technology that uses automated recognition of individuals based on their behavioral and biological characteristics for personal identification and or authentication. And many healthcare organizations are using biometric solutions for two-factor or multi-factor identification and single sign-in for staff and patient identification. Furthermore, because electronic prescribing for controlled substances is highly regulated, biometrics is ideal for the required two-factor authentication.
Everything is alright, and everything will be just fine. We'll make it last 'cause we know these days are ours. And everything is okay, it's a beautiful day outside. Raise up your glass 'cause we know these days are ours. We got that feeling. We got that. Hey! Like everything will be alright.
Now that we have defined biometrics, let's go over some of its features. Some biometric characteristics are physical and behavioral, and the most common physical examples are fingerprints and facial recognition. And most common behavioral examples are speech, handwriting, and footprint. There are two major types of biometric applications, and they are verification and identification. Verification is the validation of a claimed identity, and identification is the unique biometric uncovering of an individual. So it's basically who you are. So what are some of the pros and cons to using biometric technology? Starting with the pros, with negative recognition, if someone tries to use your unique identifier such as their fingerprint, the system will recognize that it is not you and reject access to the individual. Also with biometric technology, an individual cannot contest that they are another individual if, say, their fingerprint or iris scan does not match what's in the system. Biometrics can also help during emergency situations such as natural disasters and when a patient enters a healthcare facility and do not have identification. If they have their unique characteristics stored in a database, they can easily be identified using those biometric characteristics. Moving on to the cons, the negative side to using biometric technology, such as in the case of speech and facial recognition, is that those characteristics can be slightly altered. For example, if an individual has a cold, their voice may change, or if they're using the phone or the internet, their voice could sound different using those devices. With facial recognition, the individual could grow or remove facial hair, or even change the color of their hair, or wear glasses when they didn't before. Another con is that biometric information is not resettable, and what that means is once it is scanned, it will be stored and left insecure, making it available for others to access. Also, user acceptance will be an issue because many people do not feel comfortable having their face or fingerprint scanned and may feel as though it is a violation of their privacy. And finally, another big issue with biometric technology is the cost. Although some of the equipment used for some of the features are inexpensive, there's the cost of setup of the new system, training staff, and replacing or upgrading systems. What is the solution to resolving the patient identifier dilemma? The solution is to use multiple modality biometrics. The benefits to using multiple modalities can circumvent any setbacks that may occur, such as a person that has a cold and their voice is no longer recognized by the system. With the incorporation of multiple modalities, another biometric feature can be used to identify the patient, such as an iris scan. When comparing our recommendation to what other companies are doing, such as Martin Health System, which uses Right Patient, that provides biometric services that have the capability to use multiple modalities, such as the iris scan and facial recognition. Also, the Saudi Arabia Ministry of National Guard Health Affairs uses the Smart Finger Reader by Right Patient. We recommend that healthcare organizations use a combination of modalities to include fingerprinting or hand geometry, speech recognition, and iris scanning. These modalities are relatively inexpensive, user-friendly, and constant, and therefore the most feasible and accurate biometric characteristics for recognition to be used for patient identity and verification. In conclusion, identifying and implementing solutions to mitigate the patient matching and security issues plaguing many healthcare organizations is vital to the overall quality of patient care. Since this technology is new, further research needs to be done to see if strictly using biometrics, whether as a standalone or in combination with other identifiers, to identify patients is truly the way to go, or if there's still a need to use some of the traditional methods along with the biometric technology, as well as artificial intelligence, interoperability, and patient data updates. Thank you so much. We hope you enjoyed this presentation.